Okay, it's 9 o'clock. The meeting is called to order. We're meeting in the Central Jury Room of the Hood County Justice Center. It's July 23rd, 2013. JC, would you please lead us in an invocation, please?
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you for the many blessings that you give us each and every day. We thank you for the recent rains that we've had. We ask that if you see fit, well, we would like to have some more. We're in a drought and we need your help on this. We ask that you be with this court today, give them the wisdom and the guidance to do what is best for the city of Hood County and for the city of Granbury. We ask that in these trying times that you give us the wisdom to do what is best for our people. Watch over our military who is throughout the world, giving us the right to meet such as we are today. For these things we ask you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
You join me to pledge allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me to pledge to Texas. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all very much. We have some special presentations. First, we want to have Ray Wilson come forward. Ray, I believe you have some guests, is that right?
Yes, sir. I'd like to ask if Will Ross, one more is coming up. I'd like to make a presentation for these young folks here. On June 20th, Rylan Jones, who's 7 years old, was riding his bike too close to a nail with a coal burn. The coal was still high, and he rode over the soft earth and fell into the pile. 12-year-old Will Ross saw him fall and ran to his aid when he got out of the coal and took him to the neighbor's house approximately 100 feet away and hosed off the ashes to reveal Barnes' homeland. Meanwhile, Grace, who's 8, ran back to her home, which is approximately 500 feet away, to tell her dad Tim that Rylan was hurt. Rylan received second and third degree burns to his left hand and right leg, in addition to multiple minor burns in his arms and legs. After being taken away to Granbury Medical Center, Rylan was transported to Parkland Hospital in Dallas to treat his burns. Even after cleaning and remanaging, Rylan's state is spirits. Father and grandfather of the children, our own facility manager, Tim Flower, explained the way he had responded was remarkable for their age. They were so composed and unruffled, and they reported the problem. What these kids teach us is that fire prevention, we cannot go to work. They knew at the time the crisis to stay calm and to get an adult and to be responsible. They agreed to a fire marshal office, which would award them for their bravery, courage, and valor. We have certificates to reach them on that list, and those that she does most of our fire prevention.
All right, to Will Ross, in recognition for your valiant acts performed on June 17, 2013, by thinking fast, staying calm, and breaking.
Right. Slide that.
Jessica, slide that podium over so they can shoot pictures a little easier. I didn't say that.
Right in front of her.
And to Grace, in recognition for your courageous acts performed on June 17, by staying calm and also.
Good job.
Okay, I believe now, Bob, you have a presentation?
Judge Commissioners, we're here to celebrate the anniversary of Clara Hawari, who works in the jail. She's been with the county 5 years. Nice.
Claire is a transport officer for us, and helps out in the jail wherever she's not out on transport. So, thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and I believe there's one item that we're going to pull off, item E, for remove, because Teresa McCoy they're putting in a new machine out at HEB, and she can't be here today. So we're going to remove that one for, till next meeting. Does any commissioner wish to pull any other thing off of the consent agenda?
No.
Well, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
All right. I have a motion made by Commissioner Tout, seconded by Commissioner Berry, to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you. Subdivision roads and plats.
Morning, Judge Cochran, Commissioners. First agenda item, got to consider the purchase of the Vermeer grinder. This is one that we discussed for probably the last 3 months. Before you have the price quote that Ryan Lutmore with Vermeer, he's in the audience today. If you have any questions? This is the price that I'm now working with
On this chipper here, y'all had this on the agenda back in January, February, and I had y'all to table it because I thought we had some grants out there to buy us one, but there's no state and federal grants for us to buy this thing. So that's why Don's bringing it back up for us to approve.
I know we tried to get it on the clean air because one of the things that this chipper will let us do, and we can grind it all up and make mulch out of it rather than burning, and EPA will love that, and the Clean Air Coalition will love that. So, and I know the schools and churches will appreciate it too, right, Don?
Also, I think the fact that during the tornado that we leased the larger one from Vermeer showed the fact that it paid off. I mean, I would never thought we would have mulched all the limbs and trees in a week's time. So with that being said, I'll make the motion that we allow purchasing to finish the completion of this purchase. Make it noted that the rental charge that we used, part of it was prorated back on the purchase of this item. So out of Fund 55, the auditor and purchasing and treasurer can ratify this agreement through road ops for this Vermeer mulcher. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Berry and seconded by Commissioner Deaver. Any further discussion on this item? And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carried. Item B is discuss, Don, you want to go ahead with that one?
Judge, on the second item that we have, it's the remaining fund left in 119,615,589. That was the fund that we accumulated monies from the oil and gas exploration and business that did here. On the list that I've given you, is a list of things that we have purchased that we needed, and it shows the remaining balance of $17,164.92. Coming before the court today, I have permission to use those funds to erect a building to set this right in and keep it out of the jail while it's out of 51.
Extend the life of this piece of equipment, Don?
Yeah, the belts and everything on that, the sun would be the worst enemy for that thing, so it does need to be put under a shed.
We'd like a photo on that.
Okay. All right, I entertain a motion to approve this.
Motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Deaver. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tout. Any further discussion on this? item? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, sir. Budget and finance, item number 1, consider budget line item amendments.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners. I have provided each of you with a listing of the amendments that have been requested. The sheriff would like to move $1,000 from his Fund 61 over for canine expenses. The county court at law judge would like to move $100 over to the visiting judge line out of contract interpreter. In 566 for dispatch, the treasurer advises that we need to move $2,500 over to overtime to cover the balance of the year. And also in 544, fire marshal, the treasurer advises we need to move $1,150 over to cover certificate pay. The sergeant of the GPS office is asked to move $800 out of telecommunications into supply to finish out the year for what they need. Constable Ford is asked to move $470 into copier lease to finish out the year on the copier lease. And then there are some payroll items that the treasurer advises we need to make in the truant officer fund 105 to cover unemployment and workers' compensation. They amount to about $60. And I'd be glad to answer any questions you have on those, but I would ask that you approve those budget amendments.
Okay, does anybody have any questions on these budget line item amendments from Stan?
Sheriff, would you like to talk about the canine expense this time that we talked about last week?
The last few months, a lot has changed up at the office. We've had the district attorney wanted to assist us in getting us a canine unit. Dustin Holden has that dog right now. And then out of the clear blue, Rodney Cox, the chief of the police department, has gave us his dog. So we now have 4 dogs for patrol. So it takes a little extra to take care of those dogs, keep them fed, make sure that that stuff is took care of. So just need to use some money.
Thank you. I'll make a motion, we approve these budget amendments, Judge.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Berry. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Deaver. Any further discussion on this budget line item amendments? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carried. Consider payment of bills.
Judge, Commissioners, these bills come to a total of $1,014,154.18. I had to revise that late Friday. As I mentioned to you, we got late word from Noe Gutierrez that the Medicaid 1115 waiver payment would be due on July 26th. And that's in the amount of $21,402. So I had to add that to the list that I had previously provided to you. Most of the charges of this $1,014,000 have to do with scheduled debt service payments for county bonds. To Bank of America, there's $304,599.50. To Bank of Texas, $12,932.25. Then to the Bank of New York Mellon, $76,396.88. And all of those are for semi-annual debt service payment, along with $15,590.75 to J.P. Morgan Chase Bank. Then we have an interfund transfer, $43,944.59. This is a scheduled budgeted transfer over to the Storm Recovery Fund 101. And the treasurer says that she has received a refund from Texas Association of Counties. They maintain our unemployment fund on a reserve basis because we are a direct reimbursing employer. And after evaluating that reserve, TAC determined that we had excess And the court previously approved that we move that money over. It just took some time to get it into the bank. It's also time to pay the property and casualty insurance premiums to the Texas Association of Counties, and that's $86,574. It's also time for the treasurer to make her quarterly fee remittance to the state comptroller. That's $143,645.71. We have one more large payment to Progressive Waste Solutions. That's $17,128.90, and that's primarily for removing debris out at the Rancho Brazos area. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have on those expenditures, and I would ask that you approve those bills.
That'd be the last bill we'll pay to Progressive Waste for that Rancho Brazos incident.
I believe they're winding down. I think that James and now they have one more for about $500. I'm not aware of any other large ones.
Okay.
You know what the total was we spent on dumpsters, Commissioner Tout, or James is in the back? I see James McCausland.
I don't know the exact amount, but it's somewhere near 150,000.
Okay.
Okay, I entertain a motion, payment of the bills, if there's no further questions.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry, do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Tout. Any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Consider all matters incident related to the issuance of the sale of Hood County, Texas tax notes 2013. Stan?
Thank you, Judge. Dan, would you like to address this? This is Dan Tallman with our person.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Jim Sabonis from First Southwest Company will probably show up here shortly, and he may be able to speak more to the financial aspects of this transaction. I'm happy to walk y'all through the legal aspects of the issuance of this note. The county pretty much regularly every year borrows money for tax notes on a short-term basis. And you're back this year, I think Stan can speak to that better than I can in terms of how it basically helps you manage your tax rates and those kind of things. Now this project is for a variety of different things, this financing, including the animal shelter, I think is the big one. And in addition to that, a variety of county equipment, including vehicles for law enforcement equipment, firearms, acquiring firefighting equipment, acquiring furniture and fixtures, remodeling offices, acquiring brush chipper, shredder, upgrading the issuer's computer network, and then paying the cost of the transaction. So, what Stan typically does is gives us a list of qualifying costs that we can finance under state law. The amount of this transaction is $2,805,000. And a couple of weeks ago, and the next item you have on your agenda is to approve the Frost Bank private placement agreement. Frost went out and solicited financial institutions to bid on the transaction. And again, maybe Stan or Jim's bonus could speak to exactly how many bids came in, but I think there was 6 or 7 bids that came in. The low bid came in from JP Morgan Chase Bank. That came in, I want to say last Thursday or Friday. We've now settled with them on terms. The interest rate is 1.61%. It is a 7-year note, a little bit shorter than 7 years actually. It will finally mature on February 15, 2020. The county will be paying about $450,000 to $485,000 a year in principal each year. So you'll pay it down in advance. Again, JP Morgan Chase Bank out of Fort Worth was the winning bidder, or the low bidder. And then they will act as paying agent registrar. So every 6 months, beginning February 2014, y'all send your interest and principal payments directly to them. The order that would approve this, as stated in the agenda, does include all matters. It includes engagement of bond counsel, our firm. It authorizes a private placement agreement with Frost Bank. It also authorizes the sale of the note to JP Morgan Chase Bank. It authorizes county officers to assist in the delivery of the note. The timing on this is that the funds should be available around August 22nd. So once you take action today, we will go to the Attorney General's office and submit all the legal proceedings, and then they will approve this hopefully, and then we'll be in position to close on August 22nd. I will just say that the note is not prepayable, and that's part of the way you got the 161 interest rate. So, having said that, that sort of summarizes the terms of the transaction. Again, you are levying a tax each year to cover the debt service. The note is tax exempt under federal tax law, so there are covenants in the documents that says you'll use these projects for qualified county purposes, as I'm sure you will. And if anybody has any questions about the order or the legal aspect of this deal, I'm happy to answer those.
Does anyone have any questions for Dan?
It's a very good interest rate.
It is super interest rate.
Given the fact, I don't know the financial advice, given where interest rates have gone up in the last couple of weeks, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I think it reflects on your credit and the strength of the county, your own entity, and the fact that you come back each year, and the fact that you got 6 or 7 of the bids that were very aggressive and very close together.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve this transaction.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Tao, to have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Deaver. Any further discussion or questions? And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
There's only a few signatures this morning. We can get those from
Absolutely. All right, next item, consider Frost Bank private placement agreement and take appropriate action.
Judge and Commissioners, as Dan just mentioned to you, Cross Bank was the one who hosted this private placement, and they did solicit and receive the bid. The bid from JP Morgan Chase Bank was 1.61%. There were 2 other banks that offered 1.64%. The highest interest rate offered was about 2.25%. So it was very strong offering, and I think the county is well served by Cross Bank. And here's Jim Savonis. He can tell you more about the offering and the financial aspects. Jim?
And I apologize for running late. I apologize.
You get stuck in Crescent or something?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Morning, Jim.
Jim, before you go, we've already approved that first part of it, and we were just doing the private placement agreement now, so.
Well, thank you for letting me know that. A handout package, and let me start by saying this is the annual tax commission that the county does upon the capital and stock equipment. What we did was we worked with Stan to budget to make sure we manage your tax rate, no tax rate increase, and put that in place. We went through a process where there's a competitive sale. According to the securities law now, that there's an additional entity involved. It's actually your placement agent that you'll have your agreement on. They actually act as an intermediate between the banks who bid on this and you as a county. We act as your financial advisor and our responsibility to you. Handed out 3 documents to you. First of all, the county never got into credit quality. You're very high credit quality. It's very short amortization list. There's a tremendous opportunity for financial institutions to bid on it. And when we were talking about strategy, we determined that we would do a competitive process. The first item in the package is actually the bids that went out to all financial institutions that we are aware of that directly purchase these type of tax-exempt notes in the nation. On the second part, you'll see it's in color on the 12 bids we received. And we're very pleased by the variety of bids we received, and most importantly, by the low interest rate, the lowest interest rate that we received would be. It's clearly within our budgeting parameters, and we're very pleased at the rate itself. And the last section is actually the final sources and uses and amortization schedule that we put in place to approve this. I just want to give in full transparency. You know, it's something we talked about, we worked with for a number of months, and we do it annually. The process has never been more efficient. And again, compliments to the county, very high credit quality, the low amount of debt that you have outstanding, the really short structure really it was very attractive, and so you have bids that are very, very low in this process. As we talk with staff, it's pretty much bottom line, we low bid wins, and JP Morgan with a interest rate of 1.61, and those are great. Not only that, but you can see that the cover bids were pretty close, you know, within 0.03%. And there were a lot of good bids, so we just want to say thank you for letting us participate. As usual, your staff did an outstanding job both budgeting, planning this from a time perspective, and working with the investors when they had questions, and I think everyone did an outstanding job. And I apologize. Preston is a challenge, but we're pleased, and we think it's going to be successful.
Jim, I do have a comment. I noticed when I look at your bid tabulation sheet, out of the 12 bids you received, 5 of them have local ties. So at least they do go out to local banks or the local ties, and they have an opportunity to bid as well.
Yes, sir. And let me say, it's important for us. We want to make sure that the local banks both always have opportunity, and many times they can step up and compete with the largest national institutions. And also, I think it's a comment commendable for the town. Your local institution did step up and try to bid this transaction. Just at any time, different institutions have different attitudes for banks and a different cost of funding, but they were competitive. It's not just local banks. When you look at the list, you have local banks here, but you have local banks in Texas and national financial institutions. Washington. This goes out to everyone. I want you to understand that this time, we've seen interest rates rise a little bit. We've had more bond issues being sold than, I think they were in the last couple of weeks, approaching $10 billion league debt being approached. So when you get this many bids on this transaction, it's outstanding because these people really focus on it. We've done some other competitive bids of this nature. We're really at least in 4 or 5 bids. Good credit quality, securitization work. And again, you do have good financial institutions locally, they bid. Unfortunately, when the largest institutions in the world decide they want something they can buy. So into the advantage of the taxpayers, there's less interest that you'll have to pay over the process.
Does anybody have any other questions for Jim? All right, thank you very much.
So, Judge, if you could take action on that cross-bank private placement agreement.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the private placement with Frost Bank.
Motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Deaver. I have a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any further discussion on the Frost Bank private placement agreement? And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you very much, Stan. Consider and take appropriate action regarding the presentation from Jim Swartz, and Jim is not here, so we have Doak with us this morning.
Thank you, Judge. Of course, thank you as well. I'm Duncan Nabnett, Director of Government Relations for CareFlight. As you know, we are an emergency service nonprofit provider with 7 helicopters throughout the Dallas-Fort Worth region and over 70 ground ambulances, which also includes 1 fixed-wing aircraft providing service in the area. As you might imagine, we've had a pretty busy spring and summer with the West explosion and the tornadoes, and it's a time of need and availability of aircraft and ground ambulances that afforded us and allowed us to respond to those in an appropriate fashion. What we have in front of you today is the renewal of the membership program that CareFlight offers. As you know, that for $10 per person, I believe the county now employs around 296 employees. Through that membership, they're allowed the benefits of the membership program, such as if someone were flown out by a helicopter, those bills could range to around $20,000. And if you're a member with, whether you're self-employed, self-insured, or private insurance, we accept the insurance payment from those, and the employees receive a zero balance bill. So it's a pretty good opportunity. And since, I believe it's 2007, we have transported about pretty close to 40 individuals, 9 of which in the last budget year. So there are no changes from previous years to the agreement. It's still $10 per person, and would entertain a renewal from the court. Would like to answer any questions if anybody has.
Steve, you have questions?
No, sir. Make a motion to approve.
All right, have a motion made by Commissioner Berry to approve. Have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Tout. Is there any further discussion on the agreement with CareFlight? And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion carried. Thank you very much, Dope. Nice to meet you. Sheriff. Consider and take appropriate action regarding the resolution to change Loop 567 to Loop 129 Lance McLean Loop.
Judge, Commissioners, last court I brought to you the letter requesting to get this started, and you threw it back to me to do a resolution. So with the help of we got a resolution wrote up, and I'd like to bring this to the court's attention and see.
Why don't you read it?
All right. The County Commissioners Court resolution to change Loop 567 to Loop 129 Lance McLean Loop. Whereas on June 28, 2013, Deputy Sergeant Lance McLean of Sheriff's Office lost his life protecting citizens during a disturbance on Edgecliff in Hood County. And whereas the grief of the population of Hood County has been affected by the senseless shooting of a deputy doing his job to serve and protect. And whereas by the Texas Transportation Code Title 6, Subtitle B, Chapter 225, Subchapter A, Section 225.002, Memorial Designation of Highway by Local Government, parentheses A local government may assign a memorial or other identifying designation to a part of the highway system, and whereas proposed changes to the state highway system are approved by the Texas Transportation Commission, and whereas the Texas Transportation Commission makes its approval for highway change based on city and county government's resolution requesting the highway change, and whereas it is the request of the sheriff and the citizens of Hood County through the authority of Hood County Commissioners Court that Loop 567 be renamed in the name of 129 Deputy Lance McLean. Be it therefore resolved by the Hood County Commissioners Court to request that the Texas Transportation Commission rename Loop 567 to Loop 129 Deputy Lance McLean Loop, signed this day of July 2013 by all of the court.
Okay, thank you very much.
Discussion, Judge.
Pardon?
Discussion.
Okay.
Last week, when Maribel and Brian were in town for the meeting about Crescent, this was brought up and discussed. And it says it in your resolution that the Texas Transportation Commission has to approve this because of the Transportation Code. Maribel also gave ideas of it. She told us something I didn't know, that TxDOT doesn't name roads, but the state legislation names roads and or the commission. So what she's doing is, through the resolution, she'll work with you or the court. Worst case scenario, she said, if the loop was still 567, you see the memorial highways where they put the names above the loop and still call it a certain deal. But Maribel's aware of it at the district office. The resolution will go to Austin, and when the Texas Transportation Commission meets again, it'll be taken up for discussion. Another thing that Brian pointed out is we'll have to see if there's any loops or any state or Farm Market Road 129s in the state, and that's one reason that they'll have to look into that as well. Okay, just so you know what was discussed at the district meeting last week.
I appreciate you already talking to him about it. I've talked to Senator Birdwell a little bit about it, and it was brought to my attention about it having to go through the legislation. So I know it's we're just getting started in this process, and hope that it can work out, but we'll see what happens. So I appreciate you guys helping us to move forward on this.
By the way, the other night we had an auction down to raise money for Lance and for Chad, and the sheriff auctioned off his hat and raised an additional $1,500. So if you don't see him with a hat on, you'll know he sold it for the good cause.
But he bought another one yesterday. He
anybody wanting to get 1,500, he'll sell it today.
That wasn't a new hat, that was an old hat that was never wore, it broke out yesterday, so I still have not bought me a new.
But you would sell.
But you'd sell that hat you had yesterday for 1,500 too, wouldn't you?
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
And forward it on then to the district office as well as
Yes.
Texas Transportation.
Okay, I have a motion made by Commissioner Deaver to do that. Do I have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Now, I think, consider a request, take appropriate action on replace 5 transport vehicles.
Judge, Commissioners, I brought this up at the capital expenditure time of the budget, that I was going to be needing some transport vehicles. Since then, these vehicles, there's 5 of them that I requested them. We've had one of these have some major issues and spent, it looks like the bill's going to be somewhere around $1,000, maybe a little over. So it's definitely time. These vehicles, as of the latest monthly report, that there's one of these vehicles that's got 164,543 miles, and the other ones are, getting up there around 100,000. So they travel a lot of miles around the state of Texas all the time, and one of these vehicles does go across country and transporting people that come get arrested in other parts of the country. So we drive a lot of miles every month, but with these cars, they drive an exceptionally lot of miles. So the other vehicles that we have will probably need to be replaced in time, but these are the ones that I have the biggest need. So same thing as what I brought before you at budget time. This total, the Tahoe on a smart buy, and we've got that number identified. The total cost is going to be $26,252 per vehicle, or $131,260. And with the other equipment and getting them ready for putting in service is just going to be just shy of $160,000. So come before you today to ask to fund those 5 vehicles out of Fund 55 at a total cost no more than $160,000.
All right, anybody have any questions for the sheriff while he's here on this request?
This is the same request that I submitted to you a few weeks ago, so nothing's changed. The smart buy numbers are on there.
Do you see, I mean, you didn't ask at budget, but when will you start replacing other vehicles? Will it be April or May of next year when you start asking? Since we just borrowed more capital for obviously other needs, but when do you think you'll come back and start asking for more patrol vehicles?
Well, I just heard you're borrowing some more money, so probably as soon as the dust settles. It's possible, but we're going to try to get by as long as we can. But yes, that is, unfortunately, with the amount of miles that my office drives, then if we can get rid of some of those vehicles, when they have less miles, you can probably get more in auction for them. So, yeah, in the fall, or most definitely by the end of the year, I'll probably be coming back to request some more vehicles from them.
Let's take care of all your transport vehicles. For your prisoner transport, let's take care of all of them, or
Yes.
so that'll be good for a while.
Yes, and those will be good for a while, hopefully a few years. So, yeah, that'll take care of every vehicle that does
Transport.
Now, all these vehicles that you're replacing, are they all Tahoes right now?
No, these are all Crown Vics that I'm turning in, that we're going to turn back over to the county for auction. And what I'm requesting is the Tahoes to replace those because of the room. We've done different presentations, the hospital's done different presentations. Fire Marshal had just done a presentation about the use of the Tahoe over other vehicles. Mileage really is not much difference on any of them across the board. Some of them that have smaller engines, they're turbocharged, and they really don't save much. These have the room and the safety features built in to be a law enforcement type vehicle when we need it. And that was proven out during the tornado time, that we had to put everybody working on the street and getting getting things done, so you never know when you can't buy just I don't want to waste money on just like a transport van and for other things, so.
So your transport vehicles are multi-use, so you use them.
We plan on multi-use, but most of the time they're just going to be used for transport.
You don't have overheads on these though either, correct?
No, I don't, correct.
You're not putting overheads on these?
No, no plans to do that this time. Try to get them on the road as cheap as we can.
Crown Vics, they don't make no more either, do they?
No, they don't. So that's why we've been transitioning over to the Tahoes.
Is there another vehicle we can transfer over that resembles a Crown Vic, or Tahoe about your only option?
Chevy has Caprices that are coming back out. Found out that those are made overseas, so that might be a problem if we have problems in the future.
Okay.
So I don't think that's the way to go. Ford has some other vehicles out there, but they're smaller. I don't even know how I can fit in some of those myself, and I'm not that big. I'm trying to lose weight, so. The Tahoe seems to be the best all the way around, and the fuel mileage is much different from any of those. So that's the ones that I'm requesting at this time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's you, Roger. I just think the fact is that, you know, you heard Stan, I think, last Friday at our budget just overview. We're at $42,000 a month now in fuel, and he expects us to be at $50,000 by the end of the year. And I just think that we owe it to everybody to ask the questions and try to find it. I mean, you could drive a Prius like Jeff does, I guess, is what he'd like to see you do. But, you know, I know that's hard to do, but.
Got one for sale.
I'll make a motion out of Fund 55 that we go ahead and ratify this purchase.
I'll second.
All right,
Jeff beat me.
Did Jeff beat you?
Yeah.
All right, I have a motion made by Commissioner Berry, seconded by Commissioner Tout to approve the purchase of Sheriff's 5 transport vehicles, Tahoes, at a cost of $160,000 out of Fund 55. Is there any further discussion? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. Consider and take yes, sir, thank you. Consider and take appropriate action regarding a resolution to support of refundable deposits as part of the Texas Beverage Container Recycling Incentive Program. And what this is every time that you go to a commissioners and judges meetings, these people are here, and it doesn't really have anything to do with passing the law, but it is showing our support for passing the law. And what this is to put a deposit on plastic bottles like this and like one in front of all of you, so that they won't be thrown out the window, so that they'll be recycled. And it's strong public support for this. It shows that Texans are 2-to-1 support of this. Also, it's to keep up to 60% of the beverages consumed are consumed away from the home. So this would be a way of getting them back into the system. Increases recycling rate. Texas recycles right now 24%, and Texas bottle bill states recycle up to 75%. So there's an incentive to do this. And anyway, everybody's had a chance to read the resolution. Does anybody have any problems or questions about it? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tout. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Deaver. Is there any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Consider take appropriate action regarding a resolution for the appellate judicial system funding per House Bill 410. Auditor?
Judge and Commissioners, the county clerk may want to address this, but we've been advised that this fee is going to be required in order to fund the appellate court in Tarrant County. I believe there has been some voluntary participation in it in the past, but I believe as of September this is going to be mandatory. And so I wanted to put this resolution before you so you can consider it. What I would propose is that these funds will need to be deposited and maintained in a separate fund, and then remitted to the appellate court as they require.
This is a $5 fee, right, for each civil suit filed in the county court?
I believe that's correct.
Some are already doing it, aren't they? Some of them already been doing it.
I believe there has been some voluntary participation in the past, but it was not required. I don't think Cook County has ever had this resolution.
Okay.
Mary, do you have any comments about it?
No, we've been collecting it for some time. I do not know if it ever went through Commissioner's Court. In the past, I don't know if it was required to. We've been collecting it and it's been submitted to the state, hasn't it, Kathy, in the past?
Yes.
Not sure. Yeah, it was submitted to the state. Now it will be submitted to the appellate court itself.
If we do this, will both courts, county, district clerk and county clerk do this then, or is that correct?
District clerk is also already doing it.
And we're already doing it.
Well, I just don't want it to come up like we did on what was a year ago or 6 months ago where one fee was supposedly adopted, not adopted. I just want it on record and make sure that both clerks' offices are aware and the treasurer and the auditor are aware that there'll be a fund set up for this fee.
Let me read this. It says, it is therefore ordered that a fee of $5 is set for each civil suit filed in a county court at law, statutory probate court, and district court in this county on or after September the 1st, 2013. So it covers all those, that the district courts, county court at law, and statutory probate court.
That's true, Judge, and I believe it's required. I think the statute in the past made it optional, but the new statute requires it.
The resolution says the fee shall be taxed, collected, and paid, not may, but shall. Is that correct?
Yes. Let's see.
Is that right?
The fee shall be taxed,
Well, everybody will be doing it.
collected, and paid as other courts cost in a suit. Shall.
Motion to accept the resolution. This is passed down by House Bill 410, is that correct? Is that correct, Judge? Is that
Yes,
what it is? Okay. Motion to approve.
Okay, a motion made by Commissioner Berry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Tout. Is there any further discussion on this action? Then all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. All right, discuss and take appropriate action to appoint a presiding and alternate election judges.
The Democratic and the Republican chairman gave me their names. These are the names that I submitted. Not all of them are board. They have until the 20th day before the election to give me a name. And after that point, it's up to the county judge and I to pass it or it's not. So I just want you to approve these names so we can get them turned in because their term starts August 1st. It's for 1 year.
Okay, everybody had a chance to go over the names. Is there any, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the list of names as presented by our election administrator.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Tout. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Which one?
Let's do it.
Commissioner Berry seconded it. Is there any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Consider and take appropriate action on fire marshal's update report for the month of July, especially July 4th, and the drought index.
Judge, Commissioner, I just wanted to give a quick update on the drought situation in the county. To the 4th of July, specifically, our fire departments were very busy during that time frame. During Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we were responding to approximately 20 different fires. All but 2 were fireworks related, so the grass was getting very dry at that time. Following the trend from the state on the east side drought index, up until the 14th of the month, we were at 577 as the county average, 800 is completely dry. We did receive a lot of rain during that week following. Dropped it right now as of yesterday. Our drought index is at 343, temperatures going into the 100-degree range beginning of the day throughout the week. I expect that to start going out. The The predictive index for 14 days is 473, but I wouldn't put a whole lot of stock into that because at the 14th, when the rain started, we were all up in the 700s. At that time, we did take into account the weather forecast and rain read only after it was received. Also on the 12th of the month of July, Governor Perry did redo a drought disaster declaration that included Hood County. So I just mainly want to make everybody aware that in spite of the rain that we had, I'm going to expect these numbers to start getting higher and our drought to become more of a problem. So my office will be looking and consulting whether a burn ban might be needed in the future or not.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the fire marshal's report.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Deaver.
Any further discussion? Any questions for the fire marshal? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. The next item is consider and take appropriate action to allow a county judge to sign a location release allowing Lion Television to film a segment of the PBS series History Detectives in the Courtroom. And this is, they just want to use the courtroom for a period of about 4 hours to film and this will have nothing to do with Hood County people. It's just they love our courthouse and they love the way it looks, so they want to come in there. And this is about a murder, a series of murders that happened down in Austin, Texas in 1885. And during the course of that year, 6 women, 1 man, and 1 child were murdered in their sleep by a silent axe-wielding killer. And many more were attacked by the police, and the police was just powerless to stop this. And it was, so Pinker detectives were called in, but they failed to solve the mystery. And after shocking murders of 2 women on Christmas Eve in the city, they were verge of chaos awaiting the next outrage, but there were no further crimes, and the murders ended as mysteriously as they began. So these History Detectives is a series of high-profile, hour-long specials taking a host-driven and immersed into this process. So they kind of go in there, and it's almost like one of these specials that you see on PBS every once in a while about Jack the Ripper, and this, because this is Texas History's Jack the Ripper. Kind of a series. So anyway, they want to use the courthouse for a period of just filming, and they also want to go over in the county jail and so forth and film that. What's the matter, Steve?
I thought you were going to be in it or something.
No, I'm not going to be in it. If anybody's in it, remember who I let get in front of the camera all the time. So.
When are they doing this? Do you have a time frame?
Mary, do we have a time frame on that? August 5th?
Just one day?
One day, right?
Yeah, that day.
Okay.
August the 5th?
So, yeah.
Monday.
Huh?
It's a Monday, isn't it?
I don't know what day of the week it is. Hold on.
That's good. It's great exposure.
Yeah. All right. Do I have entertain a motion?
I'll so move.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Deaver. All right. Don't be sneaking down there trying to get in the movie now. All right. Any further discussion about this item? I think it's very interesting just to have them in there.
Put Hood County on the map some more.
Yeah, I think so. So if there's no further discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Consider and take appropriate action to authorize county judge to sign the 2013 local agreement for the public defenders for capital cases program. If you remember last year, we had a free year on this, and now there'll be some fees, and Stan has that included in the budget for capital cases. And this will allow the county not to have to reserve a big reserve for the capital murder cases. And I would ask the Commissioners Court to approve this.
It's $9,800 in case anybody wants to know. I just flipped over and found it. Year 1 was 0, and it's a sliding scale, and ours this year is $9,800. Okay?
Are you making that motion, Commissioner?
Yes, sir, I will.
All right, very good. I have a motion made by Commissioner Berry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Tout.
Since we did this last year, do both new commissioners understand what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm making sure of that.
Okay, then, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Discuss and take appropriate action to waive a $400 Hood County septic system fee, permit fee for all homeowners in Rancho Brazos. Commissioner, you want to address this?
There were, because of the tornado, a lot of the septic systems were either damaged or completely destroyed. And we have the county has a fee and the state also has a $10 fee. We cannot waive the state's fee. That's a fee that I'd like to waive so that those homeowners would not be required to pay that additional expense just to get their homes back. It's more of a public service. A lot of the homes, they had been, I believe there were 12 that were not approved previously, but, again, we'd waive the fee on the ones that were not previously approved, but this way it gets everyone into compliance. And that's what we're really looking for is compliance. And we don't have to worry about the rogue person that's going to just stick a barrel out there. And that's why I recommend we waive that $400 fee so we can keep Rancho Brazos a cleaner community.
Commissioner, can you or James expand? Has the 3 lid issues been solved or handled? The open.
I know one has.
Okay. Or where we're at on that?
What was the question?
About
the open septic lids. Has that been handled, or how is that being handled since it's private property?
Of the 3 septic systems that had damage, in this particular case, 2 of those had lids that were collapsed. And then the third one simply was missing a top cover, if you will. 2 of those have been remedied. Specifically, the one that was missing the lid was replaced, or the cap, and then one that had collapsed tanks was filled in. And that was actually done through some volunteers and a private septic system installer. The third property, I've notified that property owner, and I've not had a response, but if they do respond to me, then I'll try to help them as much as I can and assist them to get some additional help either through that installer or even the USDA in Hillsborough, where we can do some additional funding and try to help them.
Okay.
And also the earlier question about the total cost, I did get an exact figure on the total cost of waste. I'll offer progressive in that is $117,798.89. So it's significantly less than $150.
And if we get the grant, we'll get that reimbursed, though. That's why I was wondering what the total was. A portion of it, yes. Thank you, James.
One other thing about the septics, people are going back with structures larger than they originally had, and so that's going to cause a redesign, and James had mentioned that, and that's another reason we want people to get their septics inspected to make sure that they have the appropriate system for the size of home and bathrooms that they have.
I know a lot of the mobile homes are going to be replaced by permanent residences.
So they're on AMUD water or?
No, it's a water system.
Okay, so they're on-site septic, all of them?
All of them are on-site septic, yeah.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion then to approve.
Do we have a timeline on this, Commissioner, that you're wanting to do, that as far as do you have a timeline you wanting to do this on, or how long do you want to leave it open?
I would leave it open during the recovery phase because the building's going to go in stages. There's just certain builders that are building out there and redoing, but as one comes up for remodel or rebuild, we can do it with that permit process.
So would it be favorable for you to say a year and then come back and read?
A year, maybe. I know there had been talks that it may take up to 2 years to get everything rebuilt, but we can revisit it after a year.
Would you be opposed to that in your motion?
No, I wouldn't oppose that at all.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
I made a motion.
With it being a year from today to
A year
reevaluate.
from, yeah.
All
Second.
right, I have a motion made by Commissioner Tout, seconded by Commissioner Berry to approve. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We are now going to adjourn into executive session per Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with our county attorney regarding TCEQ revised notice of an application for water permit use 5851.
We reconvened into open session. There's two items that we need to take action on. One is to send a representation from the county to the August 26th hearing in Austin.
Judge, can I ask a question?
Sure.
JC, you've come to every meeting we've had. Do you think when you mailed your information to Austin, did you think you were trying to ask for party status?
Did I what?
When you sent your letter to Austin about this TCQ and the water, are you under the understanding that you're asking for status to be heard or listened to by written comment or verbal comment?
But that's what I understand the letter said.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need.
Yeah, that's what I understood. You know, I talked to you about it, and that's what I understood.
And you received something back from TCQ as well?
I did. It said that they were going to be meeting in Hewlett or whatever it is.
And then
to
26.
go to Austin. And then
Okay.
I talked to you about it, and you said, well,
Okay.
it was just for local and the other was one.
I just wanted to see if you read it the same way I read it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll entertain a motion for that to send the representatives to Austin on August the 26th for the hearing.
26th?
26th of August, yes. Motion made by Commissioner Tout, seconded by Commissioner Berry. Any further discussion?
Just the fact that we're going to we're going to get paperwork lined up and hand off paperwork and documents to the county attorney so that she can review them and also possibly write a letter on behalf of the court. I'd like that to be part of our discussion.
All right, hold on 1 minute. The next one is to allow the county attorney to forward resolution seeking status.
That's fine. I'll make that motion.
Okay, let's vote on the first one. All in favor of setting representation on August 26th?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now the next one is allow county attorney to forward resolution seeking status for contested hearing in August.
Make the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Berry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Taft. Any further discussion? Then all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. That concludes the business for today. It is now 11:08.